Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Star Mountain Outdoors and Bushcraft. I'm John, and today I've got quite the adventure for you. I'm starting out at Jack's Creek Trailhead and hiking in to Pecos Baldy Lake, Pecos Baldy East and West, and then up to Truchas Lakes, where I want to go up North Truchas Peak, and then on day 5 I want to go out past Beatty's cabin. And the interesting thing about it is we just had an amazing winter storm early in September, so there might still be some snow up there, and that should make the photography even more beautiful. So with that out of the way, come on and join me. Okay folks, the trail starts out climbing moderately for about half mile, 3/4 of a mile, and then it goes up 4 very long switchbacks, still climbing gradually, and then eventually you come out on top of a ridge where there's kind of a rocky trail that reminds me of the trail out of Iron Gate Campground. But anyway, I'm up there right now, maybe a mile and a half after the start of the hike. Alright everybody, I've arrived at my first trail intersection here, and the Beatty's Trail of course goes in either direction back to the campground and up towards Beatty's cabin, but I am going to take the Jack's Creek Trail, which starts right here, and follow it all the way to Pecos Baldy Lake. And there is an exceptional view from this. This is right on the edge of a little prairie area, a little grassland area, and there are fantastic views of the Pecos River Canyon here. Let me show you. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. It's absolutely beautiful. I've always loved the stand of aspen through here. Just past that big stand of aspen, there's a big opening, a big grassy area, and there's always cows here. It's just gotta be expected. Holy shnikes, there's a huge cow next to the trail up there. You don't seem to mind me too much. Good cow. Good cow. Alright. Past that obstacle. She didn't even budge. Anyway, past that big grassy area, there's just a ratty stand of spruce. About half of them are dead. At the end of the opening there's a little bit of a mud bog to go through, but there's plenty of poles and branches people put in there to step on. We also have the first touch of snow here. Sweet. It appears that I've made it to Jack's Creek, and there's a trail junction on the far side. Let's go check it out. Okay, we're at the junction of the Dockweiler Trail and the Jack's Creek Trail. Going left on the Dockweiler Trail will take you down to Penchuela Campground. And we are heading to the right along Jack's Creek for a while on our way to Pecos Baldy Lake. There's a nice campground right here just across the creek. Plenty of firewood up the hill. I've camped here myself before. Alright, for lunch is just a sweet and spicy tuna wrap. Here's another nice campsite just about a tenth of a mile up from the last one. There's the coyotes again, they're closer. The next trail intersection, Dockweiler Trail actually heads that way towards Beatty's cabin, and our trail is going up there. Alright, the trail right before the Dockweiler intersection and after is relatively steep. I'm not going to say very steep, but it's more of a climb than it has been the rest of the trip. Right through here, the trail skirts along the Horoso Fire burn scar. You can see it up in there. The trail got a little steep there for a few minutes, but now that I'm well within the burn scar, it's flattening out a little bit. This is actually pretty dangerous. The wind is howling through here, and I'm going through a stand of burnt timber that's been standing for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years after it was burnt. There's a good chance branches could come down, trees could come down. You gotta listen for the telltale cracking of the trees falling. When there's a strong gust of wind, I can literally hear the wind whistling through the limbs of the dead trees. Kind of like the sound you hear on a screen porch or something like that. The trail through here is extra wet from snowmelt, and there's some boggy spots. At this point in the trail, about a quarter mile from Pecos Baldy Lake, you can take a left and go down to some meadows where there's some campsites. Here is an example of one of the campsites down here. And you have a pretty good view of East Pecos Baldy. Right before the lake, you'll get to the junction of the Skyline Trail and Jack's Creek Trail. Okay, I found a little camp, sheltered as much as it can be by trees here near the lake. The good campsites, as usual, were already taken. Here's where I set up my tent. And yes, I did bring a tent this time. I figured with as cold as it is, it would help to have a little extra warmth of a tent, so that's what I did. I almost forgot I have some Toblerone for dessert. and some tea to warm me up a bit before I go to bed. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of my little adventure. Today, I'm going to be climbing that mountain behind me. So, come on and join me. Okay, this part of the trail between the lake and the saddle I would classify as steep. I see a switchback up ahead. Another nice switchback here. And I'm getting sweaty already. I think it's going to be warmer today. As you can see, there's a great view from up here at the saddle. That's Pecos Baldy Lake beneath me. And up here is the Truchas Peaks area. And the peak I'm climbing is right up here. Let's go take a look. The trail up the mountain is easy to find. From the signpost where the trail junction is, just look across the meadow and you'll see a couple of cairns, like a little gate where the trail begins. Whew, so here I am atop the mountain. Too bad there's so much smoky haze from all the forest fires around. Otherwise the view would be exceptional. It's still good. I'm really enjoying this. It's beautiful. There's a little lake or pond that I didn't even know about, just below West Pecos Baldy. I don't know if you can see all the snow still up in the trees. I think it's been so windy and cold it just hasn't melted up there yet. I decided to move my camp. Found a better spot. That's a good fat marmot right there. There are marmots all over the place here, and chipmunks. pair of marmots over here. They are eating like crazy. Look at that one pulling up the grass. Hopefully you can see that okay. Oh geez, another pair of marmots. Look at these guys right there. They're all over the place around this lake. Oh, this crazy weather. It's been a pretty nice day. Pretty relaxing here around the lake. And it clouded up a bit, so I'm drinking some tea. And now there's some flakes of snow coming down. So I lit the fire. Today it's Zen tea. They did get even closer. Alright folks, this sunset is becoming quite spectacular, and on this note I will say good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning everybody, and welcome to morning 3 of my little adventure. And it is proven that the extra stay here at Pecos Baldy Lake has been advantageous for me, because look at this shot. We've got the ice on the water, the reflection in the ice, and then we've got the reflection in the water, and we've got Pecos Baldy Peak. Magnificent. I always like to point out the stand of bristlecone pine, because it's really thick and lovely. There's big trees in it, and I like the plants and the undergrowth and everything. A really pretty place. And I'll just kind of pan around and show you here. It was a little steep there for a while, but now the trail's leveling out a little bit and just climbing moderately up this open slope with beautiful views to the east. And that's the Pecos River Canyon. Hey everybody, here it is. I consider this like the iconic view of the Pecos Wilderness. This is Trail Rider's Wall behind me, and Truchas Peaks and Chimayosos Peak. Simply beautiful. I am so happy to be here. You know, I just passed somebody going the other way on the trail, and he asked me how I'm doing today, and I just smiled, and I tried to say something, but I couldn't find the words. I cannot tell you how happy it makes me to be out here. This is incredible. Okay, right after that junction at Trail Riders Wall, the trail kind of drops down to a little flat area off the ridge line. Brand new sign and a little change in the trail number apparently. Good to know. I'll pass it on to my viewers. Now the trail is just following a talus slope. There are some steep sections through here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and call this a very steep section alongside the talus slopes here. Alright, I'm up on top of that slope and I think I'm done with the most difficult climb. Let me swing the camera around and show you the direction I'm heading in. Alright, the trail goes through here and we are just below South Truchas Peak. This is a cool part of the trail, as you can see from up top here. We're actually in the alpine zone, connected to South Truchas Peak here, and it's just kind of a cool spot. I was looking across the way, enjoying the view and seeing where the trail's going through this little valley here, and I saw like a brown object that at first I thought was a bear. Then I got a little closer look and it's a bighorn sheep, and there's several of them up there. Let me get a little closer and I'll get some footage of them. Bighorn sheep all over the mountainside behind me. I would love to stay here and just film them all day, but I do have to get to camp and set up camp and do all the camp chores, so looks like I gotta keep going. So right here the trail turns east just past where I saw the sheep to bypass this really nasty rocky steep ridge that comes off of Truchas Peaks. As soon as it turned east, you go through this talus slope where there's a nice bubbling spring that just came up, and this would be a good place to load up on water if you're needing some. And there's also a spring-fed pond up ahead, which would be another good place. But those are about the only two places between Pecos Baldy Lake and Truchas Lakes to get water. I've just rounded the ridge and I'm heading back north again, more towards Truchas Lakes. This is another one of my favorite little spots along the trail. This is that spring-fed pond I was telling you about. The spring comes out right between the trail and the pond, so you can just climb down there really quick and grab probably some of the cleanest water on earth. Here is the other side of that little pond. Really pretty. There's a gorgeous meadow to the right through the trees, just past that little pond. Okay, I'm just past that trail intersection, and it's only about a quarter mile up the hill to the lakes. Looking forward to getting there. The skies are starting to cloud up a bit, and I did hear that there's a chance of thunderstorms later this evening. So let's see what happens. This last little climb is a bit steep, and I've made it to the lakes. Here is the view of Truchas Lakes when you get there. Pretty nice. North Truchas Peak up above it. Yeah, the Rio Camado Trail is a little difficult to follow through here, but there are some rock cairns and piles to guide you along. And basically it just goes along the east side of the lake here. I have found the most awesome camp I think I may have ever camped at. Here's my fire ring, a view over South Truchas Lake, or lower, however you want to think about it. And then I've got my tent set up here, and then check it out. North Truchas Lake is just right through the trees there. Hopefully I'm about 200 feet from each of them, right in the middle. Okay, I may be pushing the boundaries a little bit, but I can't help it. This is such an awesome camp. And then I've got a tarp set up there so I can cook in the rain. This is probably one of the best setups I've ever had. Hey everybody. It's only about 3 o'clock or so and my camp's all set up. It's a little cold up here, but I think I'm gonna look around and see if I can find any marmots or pika or something to film, and maybe just take some pictures, that sort of thing, and enjoy the rest of the day. Now, I showed you guys this last year. I told you this was the fireplace that looked like it was built by a stonemason. Look how nice and square those rocks they used are. It's pretty amazing that they found those up here. But anyway, I was thinking about using it, but man, it's awfully close to the lake. My camp from a distance in Upper Truchas Lake. I knew I'd see a marmot if I walked around the lake, or a pika or something. Truchas Peak in the background, or South Truchas I should say. Pretty spot here. See that pass up there? Believe it or not, there's a trail that goes up over that pass, and I think I'm going to be on there tomorrow because I'm thinking about climbing North Truchas Peak, which is just to the right of that pass. The colors up on the mountain are really pretty. That green over on the left, that's pretty awesome. Okay, tonight's dinner was a little bit different. I had rehydrated jerky and vegetables with Idahoan potatoes. Kind of made, I don't know, I call it a shepherd's pie. And anyway, oh, these Toblerone for dessert, man, I'm going to have to do that more. Well, everybody, this cup of sleepy time tea has been a fitting end to a nearly perfect day. So from here, I'll show you the sunset if we have one, and go to bed. So from me to you, good night. Good morning, everybody. And just take a look where I'm having my morning coffee. It doesn't get much better than this. Here's to day 4 of my little adventure. And for breakfast, I have apples and cinnamon oatmeal with some homemade dehydrated blueberries mixed in. Should be pretty delicious. From the east side of the lake, the trail goes up the hill. You can see a cairn where the entrance to the trail is marked. And here's the lake. Just a little past the lake, you climb up to the top of a little hill, and it looks like there's cairns to follow from here. Alright, this is the view as I'm starting up the very steep talus slope here. And that's where the trail goes. It's just switchbacking, real small switchbacks straight up the mountain here. There is pica all over the place here. I might have to use the magnifier for you to see them, but this is definitely pica habitat. Okay, here is a view of the lakes and the top of the pass and at South Truchas Peak and Middle Truchas Peak right there. And then again, Middle Truchas Peak is on your left. That's West Truchas Peak in kind of behind there. And then that's the pass going down to Rito Kamado Falls. Okay, I was gonna head up the mountain this way, but there's a big cliff here and a memorial. Let that serve as a warning. I think it's time to turn around. It's the Olympic Flame Rock. Alright, folks. There's no way I could make it up that cliff of a mountain behind me. So I'm going to try to scramble up this way and maybe go to Middle Truchas. As you can see, I had to strap on my camera and trekking pole so I can have my hands free. It's quite the scramble, so here we go. By the way, look at the view down this way. Amazing. One of my animal friends again. Plenty of these guys up here too. That ended up being way more technical than I was prepared for. I ended up having to down climb this to get out of it. It was really quite dangerous. And I'm heading back to camp right down there. Okay, I want to show you what just happened. So I traversed from this ridge all the way, going around obstacles, skirting the top of the ridge until I got, it's hard to see in here, that chute right there. I had to down climb around that cliff right there. And by the time I did that, and it was so treacherous and I was so tired, I was halfway down the mountain already, I ended up just hiking back. And I found a trail up there. It's probably a game trail, but it's a lot easier way to get up there and then climb up from there. That's what I'll do next time if I was to try this again. Instead of going along that ridge, that was far more technical than I was ready for. Okay, surprise, surprise. Another fish wrap for my lunch. But today it's pink salmon lemon pepper. But anyway, while I was eating, I was thinking, you know, my legs are really tired, but I could continue and maybe head towards Beatty's cabin. I've still got 4 or 5 hours left in the day. Might as well do something instead of just sitting around. I was going to film wildlife, but I've already filmed the wildlife around here, so why don't I keep going? Explore some new territory, find a campsite a little closer to the way out instead of hiking 14 miles tomorrow. I think that's a better plan. So, let's do it. Okay, so now I'm heading east on a rocky trail. I hiked around a switchback and down a little further and found this nice big large campsite just a little ways from the trail, and I'm continuing east. After descending a little further from that campsite, the trail goes through this nice stand of spruce. Okay, the trail's climbing back up again. Apparently it just dropped down to get around these massive rock outcroppings. Next, I just crossed a little creek. And it goes down to a meadow. Check out this guy. Yeah, I know I'm getting too close to you, sorry. There he goes. He's heading for that tree. He's a big one. Bye-bye, porcupine. Not too far past the porcupine, I'm going through a nice open area. A nice view of Truchas Peak from here. Aw, somebody made a heart out of rocks. Okay, there's no sign here, but I'm pretty sure this is the connector trail that goes to the West Santa Barbara Divide, where I was just, what, a week or two ago? Less? Anyway, I saw the trail from a distance and it goes up the hill that way, and it's a pretty well used trail, just as well used as this one. And I am going to continue this way. Oh, just another great view on the trail today. Awesome. I was here on my last hike, and I'm going to be going the same way in this direction. Whew. I'm sorry I'm a little out of breath here, but the Skyline Trail's been steadily climbing about all the way around Truchas Peak, but I know I'm getting close, probably about a mile and a half from Beatty's Trail, and that will drop straight downhill. Looking forward to some downhill. Okay, in the background there is East Pecos Baldy, and Trail Rider's Wall is just in front of it. Beautiful. Here I am at the Beatty Trail. Don't know why I'm singing. And that's a look back at the way I just came from. So the trail's been descending pretty steadily and moderately, and now I've entered a beautiful grove of spruce trees. Okay, that wasn't nearly as steep as I thought it was going to be, and I'm coming out to a little round meadow here. Okay, the trail through here has been trampled by elk. It's really hard to see, but it is here. Okay, the trail just kind of disappeared. I came down this way from between those sets of trees there. I pulled out the map to kind of take a look. I was following footprints too. It seems like we want to go straight down the hill, pretty much. The trail shows it switchbacking straight down the hill to the water, to the drainage. So that's where I'm going to go. Alright. I'm at the other side of the meadow, straight across, just almost straight downhill from where the trail entered the meadow. And that's where the trail resumes. I shouldn't have been following somebody else's tracks. They were going the wrong way. So I should know better than that. But anyway, this is the way you want to go. Let me give you a shot of that direction. Yeah, on the south side of the meadow, straight across from the other side, there's two little spruce trees here, and the trail goes right between them. Alright, so after the meadow, the trail continues downhill through dense forest. Alright, be prepared for some blowdown through this section. I just crossed that. And I've got those in front of me. Alright, to the left of the trail is another little meadow here. And the trail goes under that fallen log. There's been a number of them through here. Ah, relief. Right after that little meadow, the trail flattens out. Now there's a huge old meadow to the left. And there's one to the right through the trees as well. And we're kind of on a little hill. And the trail is going that way. Here is the meadow to my right. And the trail is heading across that way. Here's my camp, ready and set up to go for tonight. And there's a clump of trees in front of it, but that is like the perfect tent site. It's nice and flat. It drops down on both sides, so it's on a high spot. It's perfect. I gotta say it, this is just a good site. Hasn't been used in a long time, but look at the care that somebody put into that fire ring. It's pretty nice, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of it tonight. And this area is so open, and there's meadows just outside of this stand of trees, and there's probably about 5 or 6 at least different tent sites. And let me kind of show you where it is so you can find it if you need to. Okay, so when you get to the first major stream crossing on the trail, going downhill from the Skyline Trail, look to the right and you'll see a rock kind of standing on end. Just go back in there into the trees and there's a nice flat area to camp. Plenty of firewood too. Okay, this is one of the few campsites that I've found without any snags around too, which is really nice. Alright, the food's done cooking. It's time to light a fire. So I can eat by the fire. That'd be nice. Only tinder I could find was dry grass out in the meadow there. Seems to be working well. I think I've got a fire going. Oh, and that feels nice. Right on. Just in time, the sun's starting to go down. I just heard an elk bugle. I'll give you 3 guesses what I'm having for dinner. Alright everybody, it's the last night of the trip. Got a nice fire going, and I'm listening to the elk bugle. I think I made a really good decision to keep going today and shorten my trip tomorrow. I'll be able to spend more time with you guys at Beatty's cabin, and I think it'll be a more pleasurable trip out. So that's all for now. Good night, and I'll see you for day 5. Good morning, everybody. It is now day 5. There was no views or lakes or anything to go sit and eat by and drink coffee by this morning, so I just built a fire. And it was freezing cold anyway. It did leave a nice frost in the meadow, I'll put it that way. But anyway, today I'm going to be hiking by Beatty's cabin and then out to the trailhead. So it's my last day. But I've had a good time on this trip. I'm feeling good this morning. I think it's going to be a good day, so come on and join me. Whoa, little swampy section here. Now I'm heading down a really steep rocky ridgeline here, right between where 2 streams come together. I'm starting to see the first aspens on the trip now. And I'm coming down to the junction between 2 creeks here. There is a beautiful little cascade down at the bottom of that hill. This is a nice stretch of trail just past that stream crossing. Fairly flat, but still going downhill. This is a really interesting area of creeks and grassy openings and spruce forest. Here 2 creeks come together. I just crossed another creek a little ways down the trail, and I am heading back this way. And now I've hit the intersection with the Gascon Trail. Let's keep rocking down the trail. Why did I say that? Past the trailhead is another big grassy opening. Towards the south end of the meadow, the trail starts climbing a little bit. Okay, past that clump of trees is still kind of the same big grassy opening, but it's getting steeper down to the creek. And the creek's down there. Let's keep going. Okay, I've come to an opening where there's a couple different trails here and they're not marked. There's a little cow skull there too. But I think I'm going to go on the bottom one because I just looked at the map a little while ago and it shows that the trail's going to go downhill to a stream junction down here, and it looks like I'm coming up on that. And there's also going to be a trail junction with the Rito Azul Trail, I believe it's called. So, or the North Azul Trail. I think it's the North Azul Trail. So let's keep going down and hope that's the right direction. It seems that I've made the right choice. The trail seems to go down the right direction here. And we're almost down to the creek again. And a hawk just landed in that tree. Let me see if I can zoom in on him a little bit. Whoop. There he is. Lots of hawks around here this trip. Because I've seen lots of voles and small game and stuff for them to collect too. That must be why. Just past where I saw the hawk, there is an awesome little waterfall and pool. Here's what the next section of trail looks like past the falls. You can see it kind of go up and down along the side of the hill there. Okay, it's not the North Azul Trail at all, it's the Chimayosos Trail. And that was the trail you saw climbing up the hill that I shot just from the top there. My trail goes downhill towards Beatty's cabin. Okay, I just crossed the Rito del Padre down there, that stream. And up here is a fence line with a gate. The creek's becoming large and very pretty. Here's where the trail goes. It's a bridge. This gives a good description of the no camping zone by Beatty's. Past the bridge, there's a short but steep grade. At the top of the rise, you come out to a meadow. The trail goes right next to the creek through here, and there's kind of a natural dam from deadfalls here. I did see quite a few little fishies in there, so this stream does have some trout. There's kind of a cool little bluff overlooking this little valley here. Another big open area, and I think I see a trail intersection up ahead. Here is the intersection of the Beatty's and Pecos Trail. And the Pecos Trail must go up through that gate that I see in the distance and probably follows the Pecos River, which comes down that canyon and heads this way. And this is Beatty Flats, I believe. Let's go check them out. Here's the next trail junction. Here's a dude blatantly camping in a no camping area. Oh, there's another bridge down there. I think that's the Larkspur Trail. Pretty cool. Ah, there it is. I see Beatty's cabin up the hill. Sorry about the wind. Let me see if I can go take a look. On the hill up to Beatty's cabin. The original cabin was built by a gentleman by the name of George Beatty. It was a two-room cabin built for prospecting. There's a book called Beatty's Cabin written by Elliot S. Barker. It is his memoir of experiences at the cabin starting in 1896. It talks about grizzly bear hunts, capturing outlaws, and winter rescue of horses trapped by the snow. It even has a back porch here. Looking a little dilapidated. Okay, I went through a little section of talus and came out in another big grassy area. And there looks like there's some cliffs up ahead. Let's see where the trail goes. Okay, you can kind of see where the trail goes up the hill there. And the Pecos River disappears into a deep canyon, it looks like. Okay, here is the junction that actually goes to Beatty's cabin. I just climbed straight up the hill from the bottom of the valley. Maybe that was a mistake, but I don't know. I'm a long ways away, so I would have been hiking a long ways to get to the cabin. And the trail has been climbing moderately steep up the hill next to this little stream. That's down here. Okay, the trail crossed the stream. Right after the trail junction. There's a nice little view of Beatty's Flats and some of the mountains beyond through the trees here. I don't know if the camera will quite capture it. Alright, at a very rocky bend in the trail, there's an overview of Beatty Flats just off to the side, and also of the river canyon below you, which is a cliff. The trail keeps climbing up the hill, but not as steep as before. Now I've come out into a burn area. The burn scar is actually kind of pretty towards the back. You can walk through a stand of aspen and bracken ferns, and you've got a little bit of a view of Hamilton Mesa across the way. Alright, I'm coming out of the woods into a big opening again. My gosh, this is really pretty here. Big view of Hamilton Mesa, and the trail just kind of skirts the opening through the aspen. Nice. The trail skirts around another little opening here that the cows seem to enjoy. Okay, the trail swings around into another little side canyon where there's a stream crossing. And I think I'm going to take my lunch here. The trail's flattened out and it's a pretty forest through here. Now I find myself on top of a big opening with a great view of the Pecos River Canyon in front of me. And cows on the horizon. Anyway, I think that opening there towards the middle is where the trail junction is, and that's about the 2-mile mark back. Phenomenal view of the Pecos River drainage through here. Now most people probably think these are bulls, but they're not, they're just cows. Now I'm wondering if that might be the junction up there around the corner, around those trees. Let's go find out. I just thought this was kind of funny, where these people camped. And there's a cow right there. Right in through here the trail gets kind of braided. I wasn't sure which way to go, so what I did was looked for the horse tracks, because there was a horse packer that just came through, and that's the trail I'm taking. Toward the top of the hill here, I'm walking by kind of a cool little grove of bristlecone pine. Now I'm coming out to a view of Santa Fe Baldy and the Santa Fe Mountains. This is just kind of a cool spot here. It's a nice stand of aspen down there. Bristlecone pines around. Open and grassy. It's beautiful. And I'm seeing some yellow leaves on the aspen there. We've already had some freezes. I wonder if they're going to turn early. The fall colors of the aspen is just something I look forward to every year. Wow, this view is just amazing. I can't get enough of it. But I'm ready to get home. It's been a long hike today. Alright folks, I have made it back to familiar ground. And I know there's exactly 2 miles left. And I've showed you this part of the trail, so I think this is where I'm going to sign off. And I'll see you on the next hike. Have a good one. I would just like to say that this was an amazing trip. Everything about this trip was beautiful. The only thing that I would have done differently was find a different route up Truchas Peaks. I'd also like to say that after much experimentation with my main camera, I think I'm finally starting to nail down a filming technique that works for me. Now I can give you the quality of filming that I've always wanted to give you. Another thing I tried to do in this video is add in more clips of the wildlife. If you find that sort of thing enjoyable, please let me know in the comments below. Finally, if you found this video enjoyable or it helped you with planning your trip into the Pecos Wilderness, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Trip information. The distance was 33 trail miles plus an off-trail scramble. The difficulty was moderate to hard, elevations from 9,000 to 12,500 feet, time required 3 to 5 days. It featured lakes, streams, stream fishing, 12 and 13,000 foot peaks, great views and wildlife viewing. Season July to early October, usage heavy. You may contact the Pecos Las Vegas Ranger District of the Santa Fe National Forest for current trail conditions and fire restrictions. Have a good hike.